Hey guys, Buffing Game Back today, bringing you a video, and today we're going over more information for Modern Warfare 2's third mode, that being DMZ, or Demilitarized Zone is what I'm assuming they're going for with that for the acronym. Now, DMZ we've talked about in previous videos, so I'll link those down below if you want some more information. We'll be reiterating some of that today, as well as going into some new information, as well as some additional map info, which was revealed by Tom Henderson today as well. So first off, I want to address, I know there's a lot of leaked images and videos going around from Modern Warfare 2's either multiplayer or DMZ. So if you haven't seen that, it's out there. Not the best quality. It's about 14 total seconds of footage here and there that you can probably find. I've seen this previously. I know a lot of people were asking me about it. The weapons I can make out right now are an AK-103 with a rail dust cover. You have a PP-19 Vitesse with a dovetail mount for just a standard red dot optic. And then I also see an M4 there as well in that footage. So very blurry. This apparently is footage Tom Henderson confirmed from last November. I think I first saw this, I want to say it was December, maybe early January. But that is out there now. It seems like it is out there on Twitter. It's being posted, as well as I'm sure you can find it on YouTube and some places as well. But jumping into the DMZ information here. So we do have some additional information from a bunch of the leakers out there in the community. Again, because these are leaks, take it all with a grain of salt. We do have some contradictory statements coming from different leakers as well. So just keep that in mind. A lot of this is probably still going to change, especially because we have heard from a lot of these sources that DMZ will still launch in the beta mode. So this is something that they're going to be working on for a while to try and get it right. So if you're not familiar, I have Escape from Tarkov footage in the background, just going through some raids and some different weapons, showcasing, just so you guys can see, because DMZ mode has been compared to Escape from Tarkov. And if you're not familiar with Tarkov, it is a PvEvP extraction game mode. Now what that means is player versus environment versus player extraction. So really what your goals are here is, it's a pretty complicated game, and it does take quite a while to get used to, but there's a full-fledged marketplace with 3 types of different currency in the game. There's also different traders which can sell you different items for your weapons, health, like heal systems, IFAKs, things like that, and different med kits and med packs. You'll have things like food, different weapon parts, weapons, sale, the variety of different maps in Tarkov where you have to go and do them. You levels for the traders and unlock more things to purchase through traders at a cheaper price. Now in this game, there's also what's called a flea market when you hit a certain level, and this flea market is an open market to trade not only with the traders but with other players. You can put things for sale out on the flea market. You can buy things like ammo, anything you would buy from the traders you can buy from the flea market, sometimes at a cheaper value. And that's where you'll see the in-game economy kind of formulate based on where people are in the game, and if they need certain things for certain quests, they could be, or the rarity of items, they could be very expensive in the flea market. And basically you come out of a raid, you get a bunch of gear, you can just sell it to the traders or put it up on the flea market as well, and you can get, again, your in-game currency from that. There's different types of in-game currency like rubles, dollars, etc. So and euros also. So there's a lot of things to this game that you need to keep in mind. But again, how this relates to DMZ is because DMZ is going to be Infinity Ward's take, apparently, on the extraction type game mode, that being the Escape from Tarkov, I use quotes there, type game mode, because it will be utilizing a lot of these features, most likely not as in-depth or as cumbersome as they are in Tarkov. Tarkov is a very complicated game, and you need to grind it very, very hard for a long time to level everything up until you can get to a point where you're actually able to have a lot of fun playing, I would say. Other than that, it can be kind of a grind in the beginning. So the information we have here regarding DMZ is that there is going to be a marketplace to buy and trade items. So this is exactly like Escape from Tarkov. Now, I'm assuming it's going to be obviously not as vast of items to buy and trade, but probably things like weapons, weapon parts, attachments, different perks, things like that. I'm assuming you'll probably be able to buy on this marketplace, maybe different things to use in the games or the raids. So there'll be some sort of marketplace trading. That means some sort of in-game currency that I'm assuming will be able to be used not only in DMZ, but probably also in Warzone and maybe even multiplayer for certain game modes. But I'm assuming this in-game currency may indeed play a role in Warzone 2 when it does come about. Next thing we have here is you'll be able to earn skins, blueprints, and more to use across multiplayer and Warzone 2. So this is going to be something that, again, similar that we saw with Modern Warfare 2019. You'll be able to unlock blueprints, different camos, all of that within multiplayer. In Modern Warfare 2019, we could use that from multiplayer, single player, or unlock things in single player, multiplayer, use them in Spec Ops, and then eventually Warzone 2. So that'll carry over to Modern Warfare 2 and DMZ. This is something I would expect to see not only just DMZ, but multiplayer and Warzone 2. Everything will translate back and forth, and you can unlock things in one mode and use it in the other mode. So that's nothing new, just more of the same of what we've seen, which is good. Currently for DMZ, now this is where we have some conflicting reports. 4 different maps in development for DMZ, offering different types of scenarios. So you have things that are like wide open type maps, more long-range engagements. You have more dense urban type maps, as well as very close quarters. Think of the night raid maps from Modern Warfare 2, where you're clearing the buildings, different areas like that. Now, Tom Henderson has stated that he believes the Warzone 2 map and the DMZ map, from what he's seen since last November, are both the same. And I'm assuming what's going to happen is the same with Spec Ops. Spec Ops was Verdansk, however, it was broken up into a bunch of different sections of the Verdansk map, and that was what was used for Spec Ops. So I'm assuming DMZ is going to be utilizing the Warzone 2 map, just like we heard these leaks back almost a year ago from Ralph's Valve, is that they're the same map, but the DMZ portion is broken up parts of the Warzone 2 map used for DMZ. So we'll see that map broken up into multiple different sections for the different types of engagements. We have the urban combat, the more close quarters, CQC, and then we have a variety of different areas on that map that can be broken up into the DMZ map. So I'm assuming that's what we'll see. And again, this is the same concept as Tarkov. Tarkov actually is supposed to be one giant open world map, but they're not at that point in the game yet. So right now you have this huge map of Tarkov, which is broken up into different smaller maps that are their own individual map. The idea for Tarkov in the end game is that you'll be able to, it would be an open world with all of these maps connected. So that's what I'm expecting from DMZ and Warzone 2, is that DMZ will be the Warzone 2 map, just broken into different subsets. Next up, we have dynamic weather, day and night type cycles. And again, this is exactly what we see with Escape from Tarkov. Tarkov, you can go into raids at night or day, and if you go in, depending on what time of day it is, if it gets closer to sunset, it will eventually get dark towards the end of that raid. And same with if you go in early morning raid, it will eventually get light at the tail end of that raid. So as far as how dark things will get, I'm assuming we'll probably see something more along the lines of day to sunset, maybe not to pitch black, but we'll have to wait and see. But again, this sounds really good, meaning you'll go into the raids kind of at different times throughout the day. And you may have different challenges for those raids as to get in there and do different objectives at night, do different night raids, etc. And so for those maps, you would need to equip NVGs or night vision goggles. Again, same as Tarkov. If you're going into a night raid, you need NVGs unless you want to not see anything. It's going to be pitch black. So that's really good to hear for DMZ. Again, this should really be a good take on the extraction type game mode. Next up, we're hearing PvE and PvP online offline support. So this, again, being a PvEvP, or player versus environment versus player type game mode, it makes sense. The exact same as Tarkov. There's online and then there's offline. You can raid offline against all AI, or you can go online, which is a live raid, and that would be PvPvE, where you have players included there. So offline mode, in this case, I'm assuming it is obviously just going to be player versus environment, and then when you go online, it'd be player versus environment versus player. So that's what makes sense to me. They're basically taking the Tarkov model and doing the same thing for a AAA title, which is good. And then obviously it's going to launch in beta, which we've heard previously. So that's really all the information, the new information we have on DMZ. And again, with the Escape from Tarkov footage you can see in the back, a lot of good information here, especially today. We did hear a lot of things from Tom Henderson. I will link the article down below. Tom Henderson did publish an article today which outlines some DMZ and Warzone 2 news. And really the only thing applicable to this is that he is stating that the DMZ map and the Warzone 2 map are one and the same, and within the Warzone 2 map being broken up of new portions of Warzone or Modern Warfare 2's map, as well as returning classic maps from the original Modern Warfare 2, 2009 Modern Warfare 2, would have POI locations on the Warzone 2 map. So, with that said, I would assume we would be able to see these areas on the DMZ map. So the returning maps for Warzone 2 that have been confirmed by Tom Henderson are High Rise, Quarry, Terminal, and Afghan are throughout the map. Now, those are the only ones that he's confirmed. There are additional POIs that hint towards other maps returning as well. So this would be an amalgamation of not only original Modern Warfare 2 maps. I would assume we'd probably see some Modern Warfare 3, some classic Modern Warfare. A lot of things returned from Modern Warfare 2019 as well to make up this map. So I wouldn't be surprised if when it comes to DMZ, you see Afghan on one of the maps. It's just a small portion of that map. I'm assuming these maps would be pretty large for DMZ. And these POIs, Terminal, Afghan, Quarry, and High Rise would just be a portion of that. He also goes on to mention that one of the parts of the Warzone 2 map is called Modern City, and that High Rise may be part of that Modern City. Modern City obviously is going to be the more downtown type Verdansk area, and I'm assuming High Rise is most likely going to be present somewhere within that portion of the map. So we could see all of these playable somewhere within DMZ as well. So let me know what you guys think down below of DMZ. Is this a mode you're going to be playing? Again, you can see the Tarkov gameplay in the back. There was a lot of good. Those PvE situations and PvP situations are really fun because not only with the PvP is player versus player, which you'll see some of those engagements, but there's also a little bit of footage in here, which is we're engaging some of the PvE portions. So not only is there regular what's called scavs in Tarkov, which is your low-level AI, but they can still easily kill you if you're not careful. So you have the low-level AI, which are called scavs. You also have bosses and raiders in Escape from Tarkov, and these are the more heavily geared type AI. They will one-tap you very easily, and they have more health than your typical AI scav in game. So they have very high-end weapons, high-end armor, and they'll one-shot you very, very easily. So they're very hard to fight, and these scavs, you have scavs on the map, you have bosses and raiders and the bosses' guards, which are the raiders, bosses, boss guards are the more advanced, very hard AI, and then you have scavs, which are low level, and in addition to that, you have to worry about other players. So it makes it very, very, I guess, a unique of a game mode, because not only do you need to go into a map and complete an objective in order to level up and complete a quest, you have to worry about other players, scavs, and these bosses and raiders, and you need to be paying attention as to where the bosses and the raiders may be on the map if they are there, and avoid them based on what gear you have. You can also farm raiders, farm bosses, and get their gear and extract with it, and when you extract, you get to keep everything. If you don't extract and you don't ensure your loot, you'll lose everything. So you need to be very careful. And this goes to the risk-reward system that we've discussed here in the past. If DMZ and Warzone 2 have a system like this built in, where you just can't always pick the best meta setup and go in with no consequences. You need to most likely earn things for the in-game currency, unlock things through DMZ or whatever to be bought on the market, traded, to build your weapon. And this weapon, to build this weapon would cost a certain amount of in-game currency or points, so you can't always have the best meta build. And if you die and it's not insured, you won't get it back. And the good thing, especially with Tarkov, you can insure things, but if you die, it's still going to take minimum a full day for you to get that item back. So, and that's assuming no one loots it. If you insure your item and someone kills you and takes it, you're not getting it back. So, again, a risk-reward system here in the game is a very good thing. Makes players have to think about what they're taking into the raids and how they're going to engage. If you're running the best setups you can, you're going to think twice before blindly pushing and slide canceling around a corner, 360, all that crap. Because if you die, someone kills you and takes your stuff and makes it out of that raid, you're going to lose it forever. So you need to be careful. This is going to be a game mode where you actually need to use your head. I'm really looking forward to this mode and to see kind of what Infinity Ward does with this, because I love Escape from Tarkov. I've played it quite a bit, The only thing, like I said, is it's a grind to get to a point where you can have a lot of fun with that game mode. So if Infinity Ward makes this an easier to jump in type mode, you jump in, grind a little bit, but then you can get to a point where you can build more weapons, have fun with your friends, it'd be a lot better. With Tarkov, they do a wipe every once in a while, and everyone starts at 0, but very quickly people have the very best weapons of the game, and then if you come in late, you're just going to get rolled. So there's got to be obviously some middle ground there. I'm excited to see what they do with this. Let me know your thoughts down below of DMZ. If you're excited for Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, what are you most excited for? Is it Modern Warfare 2 single player, multiplayer, this third mode DMZ, which is going to be replacing Spec Ops, or is it Warzone 2? Let me know down below. And another thing here on DMZ is this has actually been in development for about several years. And if you look at Escape from Tarkov came out back in, I believe it was early beta back in 2014. And Tom Henderson and Ralph have said that this DMZ mode has been in development for several years, which leads me to believe at least we can probably say, let's just say 2016, 2017. So it's been in development for quite a while. I'm sure they've obviously been looking at Escape from Tarkov for inspiration. What does Escape from Tarkov do well? What don't they do well? And how can they make it an easier barrier of entry so you don't need to become this full-fledged, knowledgeable economist to get in and build weapons and level up. So I'm excited to see what they do with this. This may be a really good take on this genre. Extraction game modes I prefer a lot more than battle royales. I think the risk reward makes it even more addictive to play. So let me know your thoughts down below. Till next time, this is Buffner Gaming with the DMZ information. Just a quick other information here. I do have social media links down below. If you're enjoying the content, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Till next time, Buffner Gaming out.